it's the Midnight Raven, and today it is Vlogtober, day 3, and I am not really dressed very spooky. I am dressed what I would call comfortable, and today we are going to do some Halloween icebreakers. So, me personally, I love Halloween. I don't know about anybody else, but when Code Orange hits, the Raven is 3 months of happy time because I start Halloween like August, September, so gotta get the entirety of like Halloween. So today I thought we'd do some Halloween questions. These are icebreakers, basically questions that you can ask yourself and comment in the chat. I have 10 altogether, so without any further ado, let's just have some fun and discuss Halloween. So the first icebreaker question you could use if you go maybe to a Halloween party, discuss it with your friends and family, is your thoughts on Halloween costumes. So are you a traditionalist where you go as the spooky ghost, the witch, the traditional vampire, maybe a zombie, or do you like to spice things up a bit and go for something a bit less intimidating? Maybe a clown, intimidating to some, maybe not to others. What about going, ghosts aren't exactly scary. They're kind of samey. You could go a bit less intimidating and go with something cute, like a Halloween butterfly, a Halloween fairy, a Halloween princess. Or if you're a boy, you could go as your favourite superhero. Go as Iron Man wants sweets. Or you could go the more TV route, Nightmare Before Christmas, Frankenstein, the Munsters, Addams Family, and use pop culture to do your garment from. Or you could go just totally off the beaten track and do something unique. You could do a make at home. I remember when I was young, my dad gave me a leather jacket and a chainsaw, and for a little plastic chainsaw, and told me to be a serial killer. Probably how I started my serial killer fascination, not gonna lie. Just sat in a kid a chainsaw. You're a serial killer today, sweetie. Okay? Go. Me, I kind of like the more alternative Halloween dress code. I like things like the Corpse Bride, things like Nightmare Before Christmas. You could go for, monsters, devils, angels. It's a bit too on the nose for me. Okay, question 2. What is the dumbest horror movie you've ever watched? Now, when we come to the word dumb, I'm not a big lover of, and I hate to say it, the Scary Movie franchise. I know, it's meant to be tongue in cheek. I know it's a little bit of, but it just, I guess it's not that the whole series is just a bit meh. The first one was kind of funny, the whole Dewey and the whole Scream kind of franchise thrown into Scary Movie, where they were mocking the Scream killer, Ghostface. But after that, they kind of hooked onto something that was doing really well, and then by I think they'd done 4 of them. Another horror film, which isn't technically horror, it's technically a thriller that most people will watch at Halloween, is Final Destination. That entire series, all 5 of them, just. Or back in the day, I Know What You Did Last Summer, the accidentally killing somebody, or the Halloween franchise. To me is a bit, after 12 movies, you're like, oh, come on. So, yeah, there are a lot of dumb horror movies out there, and there are a lot of dumb things in horror movies. I definitely want to do a video on mistakes made in horror movies, like leaving the girl on her own. Yeah. Or always running upstairs when there's a serial killer. Why not out the front door? Okay, what is your favourite Halloween candy slash sweet? Now, personally, when I give out to trick-or-treaters, I always used to give chocolate. I always used to not be the sweet fan. I used to give out chocolates, like take a bunch of roses and give a couple. I wasn't more so the like candy stuff, like gummies, candy corns, candy in that kind of terms, Haribo's and all that. Because chocolate is a luxury. Right now, chocolate is a luxury. Have you ever tried to buy a chocolate now? Um, Chocolate for me was not scarce as a child, but you wouldn't necessarily get chocolate all the time. So chocolate became like a luxury. So it would be more the thing that I would gravitate to give a child because not everyone can afford a bar of chocolate. They're expensive. Haribo's are okay, but you cannot beat the taste of just some chocolate. Just give the kids a little sugar rush. Okay, question 4. Are we ready? What should be served at a Halloween dinner? So a lot of people do special food for Christmas. You have turkey, and if you do Thanksgiving, you usually have turkey. Easter, you'll usually have duck or ham. What should you eat at Halloween? Now, me personally, my favourite thing to eat at Halloween is macaroni and cheese. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I love a good mac and cheese for Halloween. Now, you could do something like a scary pizza. You could do a pizza, make a face on it with pepperoni and cheese, and make a scoop like a face. Or you could get like mozzarella and make like a ghost on the pizza. There's quite a lot of food that you can do that is like Halloween inspired. You can make hot dogs and turn them into things, and burgers and turn them into things. Give them eyes, give them legs. Turn a burger into a spider with some fries, maybe. I don't know. But me personally, my Halloween dinner is mac and cheese with some nice crusty loaf bread on the side. But that's just me. Okay, not necessarily Halloween themed, but favourite autumn activities. So once the light of day is dawning and we suddenly get into daylight saving and we get to Halloween, the whole October / November month is basically autumn, and we do all manner of like autumnal stuff. You go out and you do some graveyard rubbings. No, just me. Sit in the graveyard and read a ghost story. Yeah, that's probably me too. How about a autumn themed scavenger trail? Find me a leaf that's brown. Find me a mushroom. Find me, I don't know, you go on a scavenger hunt. My favourite thing to do is probably a walk in a forest or along the beach at autumn because there's just a different feeling and it's cold. Woo. But yeah, that's probably my favourite thing to do. Get outside. I know it's autumn and it's a little cooler, but it isn't like cold. At the minute you can see it is bright sunshine. And today is the 3rd of October and it is sunny outside. It's not like overcast. So still try and get outside for an autumn activity until you really can't go out there because it's either too wet or too cold. Okay, question 6. Have you done a scare attraction? I have. I did the scare attraction for 2 or 3 years at Colchester Zoo. And it was okay. It was their Scare Fest or Fright Fest. And we went 2 or 3 years in a row. And it was really cool. You had a haunted hospital. You had some little, what they want to call scare mazes. There was a haunted like church / building / chapel. You had what they call the zombie run, where you go through this path and there's like people with chainsaws and ghosts, and that's meant to be the scariest thing of the entire like evening that you go through here. There's no way out. You can't leave. There's zombies, there's ghosts, there's chainsaw people. they're getting right in your face, kind of thing, and it's really scary. For most people, me, I just kind of laughed it off. I went through the scare mazes, near enough bored. Um, but we did it for a couple of years. It was quite fun. Let me know if you've done a scare attraction. I know there's quite a few. Alton Towers do one. Um, there's quite a few scary. Primeval. I don't know if that still goes on, but I'm gonna guess so. Um, Next question. What villain or monster is misunderstood? So, what Halloween villain or monster is understood? I would have said Frankenstein, personally. You know, um, Frankenstein's monster. But was he really a monster? He was an amalgamation of body parts from graveyards. Yes, you could call that a monster. But he had a heart of gold and only wanted to live, which is a really sad story. And then obviously, eventually, he got Bride of Frankenstein and he got a little mate, which was also really sweet. I think Frankenstein is probably one of the most misunderstood, in my eyes, Halloween characters. I know he's not exactly with Halloween, but most Halloween movies or like scary movies back in the day featured Dracula, Frankenstein, zombies, mummies, and I always gravitated towards either Dracula, like Bram Stoker's Dracula, or Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein were my go-to um, heartfelt Halloween movies, if you want to be, because it's such a beautiful story. Um, that one. Okay, question number 8. What is scarier? A psychological movie, a thriller movie, or a slasher movie? Which one is scarier? I don't think a thriller is really scary. I think when you watch a thriller movie, you get the dun 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 and the music changes and you know what's gonna happen. You're already like 10 steps ahead, like, oh my god, the blonde is running in the garden and there's an axe and what's going to happen? Oh, that's right, she's going to fall, isn't she? And she falls. Slasher movie, bit more gory, maybe an axe murderer chops off somebody's leg and they're sitting there bleeding out and you're like, this is kind of cool, isn't it? There's blood splatter everywhere. Kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre would be a good one. Maybe Hostel, if you've watched that. That's where a bunch of backpackers are tortured and murdered. It happens. Um, but you do get the psychological ones. Ding, ding, ding. My personal favourite, Saw, being one of the series that I would go with for psychological horror. There are some more obscure psychological horrors out there that don't really go for, like, supposedly Paranormal Activity is psychological. I think it's a bit naff. Not gonna lie, I think the Paranormal Activity is. Blair Witch for me would be a psychological one because it's like found footage, kind of creepy, it's weird, you're in a forest, your whole mind is just like all over the place. But that could just be, once again, could just be me. Okay, here we have the big debate. Best horror movie of all time. Go. What do you think? Best horror movie of all time. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas is my best Halloween film, but it is not the best horror movie of all time. Me personally, the film I watch the most every year for Halloween is 13 Ghosts. So if you haven't seen 13 Ghosts, it is a cracking movie about 13 ghosts that are locked in this house by seemingly a crazy person, I might add. And there's a little family in it, and he basically wants to summon the devil. Just normal stuff. But that would be the best horror movie, or not necessarily best horror movie all the time, but it's the one I watch at Halloween most of the time. Um, the best horror movie all time would be the Saw franchises. their story, the characters, the plot lines. That for me would be the best horror movies of all time. It's just watching the Saw franchise every Halloween from like start to finish over like a course of a week and watch one movie each night. But 13 Ghosts has some kind of childhood. It was a film I watched when I was very young when it came out. And it always just resonates with me. And the ghosts are quite cool, or spirits are quite cool, and they have a backstory, which I believe there's a TV series coming out, hopefully in the future, to do with the backstory of the 13 Ghosts, which would make a cracking series, I must admit. And the last question of all, the most important question of all, how do I personally celebrate Halloween? So, me personally, Halloween is spent contemplating, reflecting, especially on the dead that I have lost the previous year. I will, at some point during that day, go to the graveyard, have a sit down. I will reflect on everybody I've lost. I will lay a bunch of flowers down under a specific tree that I have in my local graveyard. That I lay a bunch of flowers down. I will sit, reflect for a bit. Once I have done that, I will come home. I will move the last bit on my Halloween countdown, which I actually do have my Halloween countdown calendar on the go. And then I will spend the rest of the day watching scary movies, chilling out, having some popcorn, mac and cheese for tea. Remember, mac and cheese for tea, and just basically enjoying the most, in my eyes, best time of the year. So let me know down below how you would answer all of these questions. It's just a little bit of fun. No one's right or wrong, although I will fight you to the death if you don't like 13 Ghosts. So if you want to support the channel and help me out this year, there isn't much left of 2024, but you can still help out the Raven and donate by PayPal, Super Chat, or Super Thanks if you want to become a member. I do put stuff over to members only. I also have a TikTok, a Facebook, and an Instagram. If you want to answer these questions down below, I would love you to join in. And then let's take a look at the book for what we have tomorrow. I'll give you a sneak peek. Tomorrow, we're doing Halloween this or that, where we're going to choose between two different Halloween things, and it could be a fight to the death on which one is better. But you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. And I will see you all very soon. Remember, comment down below. Fight you if you don't like 13 Ghosts. Happy Halloween. See you tomorrow for Vlogmas. Bye, guys. Oh, Vlogtober, sorry. I skipped a season. Bye, guys. Vlogtober.